My name's Tim Pierce. I grew up in Orange County. I played all sports growing up though, a typical American kid that played all sports. But I don't know, I guess my brother at first and then me just kind of got more drawn to the game and just really loved the game. The thing I enjoy most about coaching is actually the human development side. Developing relationships with the players and being able to be a positive figure, a mentor. Use the game to teach other lessons other than just soccer, you know, like for soccer, you know. When I have people like yourself come back, to me, it's like we like to talk about soccer. That's our bond. We can remember a practice or a game or something like that, but there's probably more moments that we remember, like going and grabbing a meal together or having a conversation about life. I like just being able to have that connection and know that once you went through that process together, you've developed kind of a friend for life beyond that. It's simple for me. It's character and discipline. I'll go to the park, we can go walk around, we can see great players. Coaching youth soccer, how many great players are out there? At one point in time, these great players were just another player out there. It wasn't standing out, it wasn't some crazy, like we see in the movies where one kid is just far better than everyone else. There's hundreds of kids, and then those that make it to a youth academy, that goes down to, like, you know, the number of lessons, and then guys that actually get a chance to play in the top level, that lessons even more, and then so it gets narrowed down. And where it narrows down isn't talent, isn't skill, isn't knowledge of the game. Where it levels down is where people just take care of themselves. They take care of their body, they're disciplined, but their character and their discipline is just is just the biggest thing that you could possibly, and it's something that you can control, and it's in you. So I think that those are the ones when you look at those guys that really made it, it's like that guy wasn't that much different than that guy, other than the fact that he just took care of himself better and had a better outlook on it. A little, you know, along with that, like resilience and continuing to work hard, and, you know, right. Those are the things that I value a lot and think that those players really make it. I was a talented player, but I probably could have committed harder to the sport and made sure I was always taking care of my body, maybe saying no to some fun to be able to go and be serious about the game. Guys around my age group that really made it, I look back on it and that was clear that was what they did different than me. So now that I'm coaching the game, when I hear people with those sorts of aspirations, I don't come at it from an angle of, hey, I've been there, done that, and I did everything right in my playing career, and that's why I had such a great career. I actually look at it like, hey, had I done more, I could have made it even further. And it wasn't a matter of just in the feet, you know what I mean? A lot of it's in your heart and in your mindset, more so than actually just ability. So I actually come from a place of could I have done more as a player, and preach that as a coach now. What I would encourage anyone to do that's trying to play, so getting to college to me was more about being in the moment. I feel like nowadays, maybe it's because of the way technology is, or maybe it's because of instant gratification with social media, Instagram, things like that. I think kids sometimes fail to just try to just stay in the moment. I think it's important to have bigger macro type goals, but I think the most important thing, if I was to advise anybody, is to stay in the micro and focus on what you're doing right now. You're waking up today, what are you doing? How are you bettering yourself and getting yourself ready to go? And those things, I think they tack on to each other, that in the long term, you're gonna be ready to go. I think that as the process of putting your best foot forward with your every action along the way and staying in each moment as they come, I think is really important, and sometimes sort of a lost art. It's absolutely massive. We do it, but we do it more on a handheld camera with a tripod and film the games. As technology is advancing, student athletes are getting more exposure. It's gonna just benefit them with their recruitability and their ability to move on. I mean, we started with handheld cameras, that moved to burning onto DVD players. Whoa, that was crazy. Then we started uploading this film to like YouTube and stuff like that, but that was complicated. Something that a product like you guys are coming up with, where it just makes it that much easier, and it solves two things. It's one, there's the educational side, and two, there's the recruitability side. we're only doing it for our older teams, mainly for the recruitability, like our high school age teams are doing film. It's just too difficult. Having all that technology and having someone able to do it, in a perfect world, everyone would have access to it. With the younger players, it would obviously be, the focus would be more on a learning tool. And what better way to learn than see yourself doing the action? When you're doing it, it's different than when you see yourself. When you watch yourself doing it, you can correct yourself and you can see what worked and what didn't. I think it's really big. Now, kids can watch other games, watch other people do it, but seeing their own selves, oh man, I got to start looking for this play, or I see what I do, I have a tendency to do that and it doesn't work out. It's huge for that. Yeah, it's just fun. At the youth level like that, you know, a parent is having a birthday party or something and they have access to their kids' soccer. And that video access is huge. Everyone wants to watch themselves play a little soccer. The film is a massive advantage for these kids for their exposure. The ability to be able to upload things so quickly and have that instant access to that stuff, showcasing them way more. Back in the day, we did have those, but it was more of a process. They would pick and choose games. Even the English Premier League and the Champions League, those games were only the big games. You'd only see Chelsea against Man United. It wasn't every single game. You couldn't get the mid-level games and things like that. So all those people are getting exposure. That even helps with kids that are playing in, you know, pro athletes that are playing on a mid-major team, but constantly being seen and highlighted and showcased. They may make their national team because of all that exposure. So that's for sure a big advantage for the youth.